Hi, I'm Adam Stanboy, and welcome to part 2 of our Vow of the Disciple raid guide series. With me are 6 totally professional and not winging it at all Muthacluckers Clan mates, Erin PK, Alex, Electric Sheep, Minoni, Tooks and Zone Runner. We're going to illustrate how to complete the acquisition encounter, and also that things don't have to run perfectly to get a successful clear. I will apologise in advance for saying the word glyph a lot. In this encounter there are glyphs on buildings, glyphs on totems, glyphs on obelisks, glyphs above doors and glyphs in rooms. You'll recognise them from the glyph room that you went through earlier in the raid, and you'll need to be able to identify them to the rest of your fire team quickly. I've put a link to a website that can be used to practice callouts in the video description. So, your aim as a fire team is to open the door at the far end of the encounter area by clearing 3 obelisks. This is a mechanic that repeats through the raid. To do this, the fire team needs to identify the 3 correct obelisk glyphs to shoot on each of the 3 obelisks in turn. Like many Bungie encounters, this has 3 phases. On to weapon recommendations. Clearing adds as they spawn will make your life a lot easier, so weapons that do damage over an area are good to have in your loadout. The Osteostriga exotic SMG, Wither Horde, chain reaction and wave frame grenade launchers, reservoir burst fusion rifles, primaries with Firefly or Dragonfly, or void weapons that trigger volatile rounds can work well. You will be facing unstoppable champions in here, so make sure you have an unstoppable mod equipped in your loadout somewhere. You'll also need burst DPS weapons for beefier mages and mini-bosses. You'll see we mainly use rocket launchers. Jalahorn is great if you've not already got an exotic equipped, but whatever you're comfortable with will be fine. As you come in, you'll see the area is kind of an octagonal shape divided into the pyramid on the left and Traveller on the right side, shown by glyphs on buildings in the middle of the area. There are 3 sets of obelisks and totems. We're going to call them left, right and centre, and 9 totem rooms around the edge of the area identified by glyphs above their doors. The way that the area is laid out means that there are 3 totem rooms for each totem obelisk pair. The centre, nearest the entrance door, has entry, give and worship rooms to cover. Left side has grief, stop and knowledge rooms, and right has drink, commune and kill rooms. The totems show how to find out which obelisk glyphs to shoot by showing first which side of the encounter area, the pyramid or traveller side, an orange bar taken night called the Disciple's Compass will spawn. Then, which of the 9 totem rooms to find the obelisk glyph in, and finally, which side of the totem room, dark or light, displays the correct obelisk glyph to target. In this example, the totem shows that the knight is on the pyramid side of the area, then that the give room needs to be cleared, and then that the correct obelisk glyph is on the darkness side of the give room. Each side of the totem room is defended by a yellow bar glyphkeeper chieftain and a bunch of screebs. Killing the glyphkeeper on the side identified by the totem will reveal the correct obelisk glyph. Obelisks are 3-sided and also act as encounter timers, leading to a wipe if they fill with light to the top. Time is lost by time passing, or when any of the 3 obelisks is damaged by adds. If the damage fills the obelisk with light, then that's a wipe. Fireteam members will need to watch for orange bar scorn called Ablated Adherents spawning in, which can do serious damage to obelisks, reducing the time to a team wipe. There's a crux in the middle of the encounter area, and this is used to toggle opening and closing totem room doors by taking damage. This is another mechanic repeated through the raid. Shooting will open any closed doors and close any open doors. This is also used to start the encounter, so feel free to explore freely beforehand, especially if this is your first time clearing rooms, as some of the entrances are not immediately obvious. The crux is easiest to shoot from the central left side totem obelisk, as the right doesn't have immediate line of sight. Your fire teams will need to set up in 3 teams of 2, 1 around each totem obelisk pair. 1 person will be defending and 1 person running. For less experienced fire team members, defending is probably the easier task. Initially, 1 totem at random will show which side of the encounter area the Disciple's Compass has spawned. The runners covering that side of the room, remembering that the centre runner covers both pyramid and traveller sides, need to hunt down and kill it. This will spawn a yellow bar unstoppable abomination somewhere in the room, which will need killing quickly. So again, remember to include an anti-unstoppable mod somewhere in your loadout. After the orange bar knight is killed, the totem will then show which room the correct obelisk glyph is in. This is called out by one of the team nearby, and the runner responsible for that room finds and enters, calling for the door to be opened if necessary. As the runner enters, the totem will then show either light or dark. When asked by the runner, one of the team nearby will need to call it out so that the runner knows which side glyph keeper to kill to reveal the correct obelisk glyph. The runner can kill both glyph keepers, but only the one identified by the totem can be used to clear the obelisk. Once the obelisk glyph is identified, the runner exits, calling for the door to be opened if necessary by someone shooting the central crux so that they can get out. This all occurs in overlapping phases. New Disciples Compass Knights will spawn in on a timer, on a side identified by the top glyph on a different totem, then a new totem room specified, and finally the side of the room that the obelisk glyph needs to be taken from, so there will be a lot of overlapping callouts. Runners should name the room they are in when asking for the dark light callout, and likewise, whoever calls out the dark light glyph should name the room it is for. As we found out in this run for the first time, the rooms don't have to be cleared in the order they appear on the totems. Obviously get them done as quickly as possible, but if you're late, you won't cause a wipe. It's not always going to be possible for everyone to keep their eyes fixed on their totem, so if you kill an orange bar knight without its position having been called out, be sure to let the rest of your fire team know, as it means that someone has missed a totem glyph appearing and everyone will need to check which room needs to be cleared. Both the runner and defender should regularly check their totem for new glyphs until all three are showing and have been acted on. If a defender is on their own because a runner is away clearing a room, they need to remember to maintain line of sight for totem callouts. Scorn enemies will spawn in continually, which will need clearing by the defender. The runner can help if they're not otherwise occupied or if they're not reading glyphs on the totem. A runner can also help out another pair by moving over and reading their totem if a defender is on their own and tied up killing adds while their runner is waiting for a dark light call. This will repeat 3 times until the fire team has 3 obelisk glyphs. You might want to write them down, as it can be a minute or more between the first and third glyph being called. More than one room in the same area, left, right and centre, can be chosen by the totem, so runners need to be aware that they'll need to be on alert even if they've already cleared one room. When you have identified the 3 glyphs, the timers on all the obelisks will reset, and you'll see an on-screen message reading, "An obelisk awaits your offering." Each one will display 9 glyphs, 3 on each side. The runner and defender will need to work out whether the 3 needed all appear on their obelisk. The correct obelisk will be random, but once cleared won't show again, so it could be any of the 3 the first time, either the 2 uncleared obelisks the second time, and then the remaining obelisk the third time. These 3 glyphs need to be shot within a second or so of each other to clear that obelisk. One of the other runners can go to that obelisk, so that you have 1 person per side, or 2 runners can shoot the glyphs by standing at a corner. That allows you to see 2 sides at the same time. If you fail, you'll see the obelisk rejects your offering on screen and the glyphs will scramble, so you'll need to locate them again on the obelisk. You have 3 chances to get the obelisk to accept your offering before there's a team wipe. You'll see the message, "An obelisk accepts your offering" when successful, and the timers will reset again, ready for the next phase. You'll then rinse and repeat to clear the second and then the third obelisks. While obelisks won't show again once cleared, totem rooms can be repeated in the second and third rounds, so just because you've cleared a room doesn't mean that it can't be selected in a subsequent phase. Once all 3 are cleared, this finishes the encounter and the chest appears with your loot. You can drop any of the Submission submachine gun, Cataclysmic linear fusion rifle or Deliverance fusion rifle, helmet, chest and leg armour from this chest. At first glance, the encounter can seem chaotic, so I'm now going to guide you through the video of the first phase from the Cluckers run, pausing to explain what individuals are doing before showing the video of the second and third phases. You'll see none of the phases we ran went by the book, so if you're new to the raid, don't stress too much about perfection. For this, I'm going to demonstrate the flow of information that's passing between the fire team by showing the totem glyphs as they appear along the bottom of the video and the obelisk glyphs as they are identified along the top. Remember, the runners are responsible for covering 3 rooms each, centre covering entry, give and worship, left covering grief, stop and knowledge, and right covering drink, commune and kill. And just to say that we tried using a clapperboard to help with syncing the 6 videos, which Sheep constructed out of Lego, and as you'll hear, he enjoyed using it. This is our first walkthrough video, so we are still learning how to organise ourselves.
Oh, that's a... I'd also need it on a software mod, thanks for that reminder. And
Not a
yeah,
problem.
should I go 3, 2, 1 and then you clap?
Sure. As long as I clap.
3, yeah, 3, 2, 1.
Ooh.
That makes you happy.
They're having too much fun.
It's the small things in life.
Here, Took spots the first glyph on the right totem, showing that the orange bar knight has spawned somewhere on the pyramid side of the area.
Pyramid side first.
Oh, the knight is on us.
Yeah.
Minnow finds the knight and kills it, spawning an unstoppable abomination mini-boss somewhere in the area.
Knight's down.
Tooks calls out the second right totem glyph as the give room. Zone is the runner covering centre but misses the call.
We have give. Open the door. Fucking.
Zone calls the first centre totem glyph, with the orange bar knight spawning on the traveller side of the area.
Traveller
Shit.
side's the next night.
Okay, I'll go have a look. There it is.
Tooks finds and kills the knight, again spawning an unstoppable abomination.
It's down.
Zone calls the second centre totem glyph for the stop room. Minnow, as the runner covering the left side, goes to the room.
Stop is.
Okay.
Stop.
Heading in. No light or dark to stop.
Zone calls the third centre totem glyph as light, so the correct obelisk glyph is on the light side of the stop room.
Light.
And
It
traveller
was
side.
give, by the way. Zone was ours.
Minnow kills the glyph keeper in the stop room and sees the black garden glyph on the light side.
Got another night
Next.
on
Alex calls the first left totem glyph, with the knight spawning on the traveller side of the area.
it.
Knight is on traveller side. So
Down.
my symbol's black
Well,
garden.
no, it's not down. Dodge.
Okay.
Give me a sec. No.
No, hello.
It is. Yeah, traveller side. Sorry.
Our light or thingy on give hasn't come up actually yet.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's.
Need to go into the ring.
It would help, wouldn't it?
Finally, Zone deigns to enter the give room. Tooks calls the third right totem glyph as darkness.
It's dark side.
Still hasn't come up for the third symbol. Is there still a knight upon?
Is it
Traveller.
traveller?
Zone kills the glyph keeper in the give room and sees the earth glyph on the darkness side.
Side.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's right in front of us too.
So it's
In the middle of the
You're at
area.
the top end.
okay, cool.
Erin finds and kills the orange bar knight identified by the left totem, spawning the third unstoppable abomination.
Earth and what's the other one?
Black garden.
Both Alex and Minnow see the second left totem glyph is the grief room. This is again on the left side, so Minnow goes in to clear.
God.
And
Okay,
it's grief
grief.
is the last
Grief.
one I'm heading in.
Grief.
Let me know light or dark, Alex.
Still not up.
Alex calls the third left totem glyph as darkness.
Dark.
Minnow kills the grief room glyph keeper and sees the fleet glyph on the darkness side. This gives the 3 obelisk glyphs that need to be cleared as Black Garden, Earth and Fleet. Everyone now starts checking their obelisk to see if all 3 appear on it.
Fleet.
So Earth, Black Garden, Fleet.
It's not us.
could be ours. Let me check.
I've got Fleet, Earth,
Fleet, that one,
and Black Garden. Yeah.
Tukes and Erin identify all three are on the right obelisk.
I got
Okay.
Yeah.
Fleet,
I've got
Running.
Earth. Oh, hold on.
like fleet.
Tukes and Erin between them try to clear, but the obelisk rejects their offering and the glyphs reshuffle.
I'm here.
Fleet, Black Garden, and we don't have her. Yep.
I've
got
got
Black
Fleet and
Garden.
Earth.
Yeah.
Tukes and Erin successfully clear the right obelisk and see the message, the obelisk accepts your offering.
Yeah.
In the next section, try to work out what's happening in the remaining two phases using what you now know. You could concentrate on one person through a phase to see how defenders and runners operate. You could also watch across all 6 perspectives, pausing as I've just done to see the interplay between the Fireteam members to execute the encounter mechanics. How totems reel glyphs, finding and killing the taken knight, clearing totem rooms, identifying the correct obelisk glyphs and clearing obelisks. See if you can spot the deliberate mistakes in the second and third phases that we obviously just put in there to check whether you're paying attention.
We've got Fleet, we've got Black Garden.
We're done.
It's alright, we're done.
Done.
Reset.
next round.
So, in which one is? It's on Tuk's side, okay.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
So that was 2, so
Yep.
Traveller.
Traveller side. I see him. Down.
Kill.
Okay, go
Need a door.
in. Yes, please.
And pyramid side for one night.
something in me,
really
I'll
next
start
to-
looking.
to
It's
us,
up,
yeah.
it's our one as well.
Yep.
He's down.
Light or dark?
Light.
Next one is Worship.
Okay, so it's Fleet.
Oh shit. Thank you, Minnow.
Cool. And there's a knight. Down.
Okay, knowledge.
Who's going to worship, by the way?
That'll be me.
Okay.
Let us know when you're out. I need to switch the door.
Go in now, Minnow. I can open
Yeah,
it
it's
again.
darkness.
Darkness,
for
darkness
you, Zach.
on worship.
I'm going into knowledge now.
Guardian.
Am I looking light or dark, Alex?
Dark.
It's Sabathan.
Guardian, Savathun, and Fleet.
Yep.
It's us.
Okay.
Cool. Okay.
Reject.
Sabathoon. No, it's not. Fleet and
I've got
Sabathoon.
Fleet.
There we go.
Nice one.
So who's got the last pillar?
Minnow and I.
There's Alex and me.
Yep.
Oh, we've got a knight.
No, that's good set.
Got him.
That's
resetting.
worship, so I'll open up.
Next night's pyramid side.
Sheep, could you give us a shout on which side I need to shoot?
Yes, just give me a second.
It's dark side, so.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dukes.
Sorry?
Still looking for the pyramid side knight. It might be right down near you, Zane.
There's going to be another
Uh,
pyramid night as well. So
I found one. He's
I,
dead.
I just killed one as well. I killed two in these.
It's gift.
and we need
Okay.
drink as well.
I need
Okay.
to open the switch. Do you need it for drink as well?
No, the drink's open. Let me head in. Okay.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
I'm in, so you can swap if you want.
Go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what am I shooting for drink?
And on gift side is dark.
So what's drink side?
Darkness.
Darkness. Okay. Guardian.
Tower.
Guardian, tower, and
Earth.
earth. Cool.
Okay.
Okay, it will reset one more time before we can
Mhm.
start. So I'll stay on
Who's
this one.
shooting?
Okay. Okay.
Let's wait for
I have
Tower.
Guardian.
Go.
Okay. Open the chest and then we save. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, full marks if you picked up that in this second phase, Minnow asks the wrong person on the left side for the Dark Light call, rather than asking for the call for the Knowledge Room, which should have come from centre, but fortunately still gets the correct Obelisk Glyph, and at the start of the third phase, no one is watching their totems, so 2 knights appear and are killed without any call-out being made. Hopefully this will reassure anyone who's nervous about running the raid that things don't have to run perfectly to get a clear here. That's the end of our guide to the acquisition encounter. I'd like to thank Ascendant Raisin for making the glyph callout infographic free to use, Rick Bilson for permission to use his maps as the basis for the ones I've created, and Kyber from kyberscorner.com for permission to use the raid loot infographic. Thank you all for watching, we hope that's helped you, and may all your drops be god rolls.